Not talking unless y'all giving me land and 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
You hear me? I'm not talking. I'm not talking unless you're giving me likes, you commenting, and you're subscribing. You hear me? Okay then. Well, hey, bitch. JamiThatsMe here. Listen, I'm back for us to talk more about Real Housewives, okay? There's a little bit I want us to get into, like Monique Samuels returning to Real Housewives of Potomac for the upcoming season. We also have to get into Kelli, okay? Kelli Farrell of Real Housewives of Atlanta. She has some things to say about the reunion, as well as Miss Edie not being in attendance, as well as Kenya not being in attendance, and more. And we also have to get into Ralph, okay? Because Ralph Mrs. Ralph Sidora Pittman, okay, appears to be coming up against his wife yet again. All right. I don't know if this is supposed to be the vindication that he is seeking, but it's not looking great for him in my personal, and we will definitely get into it. So if you have yet to come into the video and like it up, go ahead and do so right now as we go ahead and get started with our first topic, and that is going to be Miss Monique Samuels. Okay, a lot of people are excited because Monique is coming back to Real Housewives of Potomac. That was announced on last week. I did do a video on that, and I thought it was kind of funny because the people that now announced the exclusive about her returning was People Magazine, the very company that she was dragging not too long ago, because they put out details about her separation to her now divorced husband. Okay. They put details out about their separation and she didn't like that. So I find it to be very funny that they are the ones to let us know that she will be returning. But in addition to that, Monique also finally goes on and she confirms that she is going to be back on the new season. When just a month or two ago, she was responding to a comment when the news was surfacing around that she was going to be on the show. She said, "Not true, boo." Well, guess what? It's true, boo. And we're going to go ahead and check out what Miss Monique had to say. So let us get into it.
Since I've been gone, every time I've been asked, I've been like, no. Even this year, like literally, I said I declined probably a good 7 times. And then something happened. Something changed. And I was just like, I'm not the person that I was. And a lot of the reasons that I said no was because of the person that I was, you know, and I'm not her anymore. So, what better way to test my healing? But no, for real, I have been running from the platform that gave me a foundation out here in these streets. And when I really thought about it, what was keeping me from returning was a lot of fear, and it was also a lot of PTSD, you know. I was built way different then. I'm built a little better now. And giving everything that I have going on in my life between my business, Millie of Essentials, which has been extremely successful, and then also my book that I've been working on, which for anyone who's been following me consistently, y'all know I've been talking about my book for like at least 2 years now. It's been a work in progress, it's also something that's near and dear to me. And I love that you'll not only be able to see the levels of growth that I've achieved when you read my book, but you'll also be able to see it now on TV as well.
Okay.
So I have been able to move past that, and it's my season. I'm stepping into my season. You know, I feel like everything that I've gone through up until this point has been for this moment, and I'm really excited. And yes, I'm not worried. You know, I'm like, I put my ego in check a long time ago. I put my ego in check during Love and Marriage DC. How about that? But I've grown so much, and I know who I am, you know, and I have nothing to prove. I need the skincare line.
All right. So y'all just heard Monique. Honestly, I didn't feel like Monique had anything to prove earlier on when she first was on the show, but for some reason she walked around with that about her. Like she had something, you know, she had to impress people or something like that. But I want to see what changes Monique has made. I definitely hope that this video here ages well for her as she's on the show. The way that she's talking about writing a book and how we would read that in her book, but then also see it on the show, kind of makes me question if you are really returning to the show as a friend of. Or are you going to be returning as a full-on cast member? Okay. Now, granted, I think some people may start out as a friend of, and then things may change over time to where she may end up holding a flute. Right. I think her fans would like to be a bit more in her business. I think that for you to be on the show the last time we saw you, you were married, and then now you're returning and you're divorced. I kind of feel like that's giving, I'm not going to say main character energy like some people say, but lack of a better word, it's giving main cast member. Okay. Not, one of the main cast members, not friend of, because we might want to tap into the business just a little bit, like what happened, and where are you at now? How are the kids doing? So it may be certain things people are going to want to know, that I feel like being in a friend role, it may not give us all of that, right? She's going to be limited in sharing that, especially if you're trying to promote your businesses to the people, books, essential oils and stuff. So, I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. Are y'all okay with just a friend role, or would you like to see her in a bigger capacity, right? I'm definitely, for me, going to give Monique a chance. What happened between her and Candiace were many a years ago. What happened on Love and Marriage DC was a minute ago too. So I'm gonna give her a fair chance, as I try to give everybody once we enter into the Potomac land. The only person that never really gets a fair chance, even though I try, is Ashley Darby. But I am going to try yet again with Ashley. I am. I am, because I want to like Ashley as much as you guys like Ashley, okay? But I got a feeling I'm gonna be liking Monique much more than I like Ashley. But we shall see once the season drops, and see how everything goes. If she's a friend of, cool. If she's not, that's okay. Whatever. We gonna tune into it, especially if there's nothing else on television, and that's no disrespect or shade, but if it ain't nothing else going on, then we're gonna tune in. But leave your thoughts and comments about that down below. Next up, I want us to get into Kelli Farrell and what she had to say to TMZ about the reunion, Kenya Moore and Brit eating. Let us slide right over here and get into that. Actually, you know what? It's TMZ, so they be a little tricky. Okay, they're a little tricky. So with that, we're likely going to just listen to the audio. Okay.
I wanted to ask you, I know fans were shocked when they found out that y'all filmed the reunion without Kenya and Brit. What was it like not having them in the room?
Honestly, I felt like the room wasn't as complete as it should have been. I really wish that Kenya would have been there to, just kind of give her spiel and her side of the story. I wish Brit was there to just kind of be accountable for her actions. So, yeah.
So you said Brit be accountable for her actions. What do you mean by that?
I think you guys just definitely have to tune in.
Okay.
I think people will see in those last few episodes of probably why she didn't attend the reunion.
Okay, so Kenya made it clear she did want to be there at the reunion, and she felt like she should have been. Do you think that she deserves a seat there? I mean, do you feel like she deserves to be back on the show,
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely feel like Kenya, definitely, she's an OG. She definitely has put in the work to, bring the fans exactly what they wanted and what they're looking for. So I hate that she wasn't there, but I would love to see her back, hopefully for a savory 17.
Okay, savory 17.
I love it. I mean, were you surprised to hear that Brit is suing Bravo? I mean, whoa, that made complete headlines last week.
Yeah, I definitely can't speak on that, but I mean, it's very clear that some of us might need a little help with paying some bills, so who knows?
Oh, okay, so do you think it was like maybe a money grab type of situation? Like,
I think we're all thinking the same thing.
Child, did y'all hear what she said? She think we all thinking the same thing, okay? And that is that Miss Edie filed this lawsuit against Bravo because she needed that check, and it's a bigger check, in her opinion, than what she was getting paid to be on the show. It appears to me she's trying to get that Porsha Williams check, okay? That's what it seems to me. She's trying to get a piece of that check, and I'm talking about the check that Porsha for to be getting from Simon, whether it's going to be from that house, which is one of his assets, or something else, okay? But yeah. Girl, I'm gonna let y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. But I will say, when Kelli says that, it kind of seemed, I can't remember her exact words, but pretty much off at the reunion, right? I feel we're gonna notice and feel that absence for sure. At this reunion, and I feel like they did not invite Kenya because they were expecting Brit to show up, and I'm sure Bravo was pissed to learn that she wasn't showing up, and they could have had Kenya there, I feel like at that point y'all probably should have zoomed to Kenya and said, "Hey, are you available for a Zoom call? Like, let us zoom you in. Can you record a video about this or that, possibly that we can add in, like we did with Karen Huger for RHOP?" I'm sure Bravo were pissed to know that she did not attend the reunion, and they also received a lawsuit on the same day. Girl, I can't. It's too much going on over there at the Bravo studios. Like, it's too much going on down there at NBC Universal. But either way, good luck to everyone involved. All right. Next up, I want us to tap into Ralph Pittman. We have to talk about Ralph Pittman because he's been on this I would say kind of like bash Drew campaign, embarrass your children's mother campaign type of situation. Some may feel like, well, Drew did that to him, so okay, maybe it's giving petty. Okay, tit and for tat. But I just feel like it's so delayed. I do think the times that Ralph could have, quote unquote, exposed and put all of this out there, he's waiting until the tail end of his marriage to do so. But I mean, you don't even want her, right? You filed for a divorce, right? So what is all of this for? Really, what is all of this for? And honestly, it's not going to really change our minds on how we feel about you. But let's get into it because he came over with another post on to social media the other day, and this is what he says. Let's be clear. He says Tampa was resolved before we started filming Real Housewives of Atlanta. Our first day of filming was our actual anniversary, August 21st. On camera, you saw a fabricated reenactment for TV that evolved into a villain versus damsel narrative. After filming, we celebrated our anniversary and went to Chateau Elan. He says the first text shows exactly where I was, why I left, how I felt, and my tone. The second text is from our producer for their first day of filming. Third text is the date of the video. Okay, Ralph must be watching my videos because I dang sure been telling you that you ain't giving no timestamps for real. You just screenshotting. But we got to see what's going on, love. So he's here with another receipt, and I feel like you keep posting stuff because you're trying to convince me to be on your side, and I'm not. But let's keep going. So August 17th, it looks like he texts Drew. He says, if you want to talk over me and interject, I'm shutting completely down going forward. I'm no longer fighting to be heard. Good luck truly understanding through assumptions of what I'm saying or doing. She says, okay, I truly did miss you and was extremely hurt. Not sure if you realize that. He says, that's fine. Yet you still don't know or understand why I left. Okay. So when you say she doesn't understand or doesn't know why you left, Ralph, that leaves me to believe that she had no knowledge of you going down to Tampa. Now, what I will say, and I will give Ralph this, is I do feel like situations will happen and then they have to redo it for the show for TV purposes. You know what I'm saying? Where they'll have to bring up a conversation that they may have already had, and act like it's the first time they've heard it. I think that's possible. So then he goes on to say, by the way, I went to the beach. I needed to spend some time with God, gain my composure, and truly understand what I'm doing. I went to my new place of refuge and desperately needed to get away. I needed to find my happiness. You don't know, but I was at a critical breaking point, and leaving was by far the best thing I could have done. Although it hurt you by leaving, he says, it would have hurt tremendously more if I stayed. It's actually easier to communicate through text. Okay. So this is what Ralph is telling Drew. And I also want Ralph to understand this too. Don't ever think that this show broke y'all up, because as Kyle Richards has said, reality TV does not break up couples, right? But it may heighten some issues that you guys already had. That's all. Y'all clearly from this, y'all were already dealing with SHI. Already going through y'all stuff. And I think that when y'all were going through what y'all were going through, it may have been the best financial decision to come to Real Housewives of Atlanta, but maybe y'all should have stayed off. Now, granted, whether you were on the show or not doesn't mean that you guys would not be at the very point that you're at now, which is a divorce. Okay. But let's keep going. Okay. So August 20th, 2020, he says, this is Marcus, RHOA. He says, I got you. I'll be there in the morning. He says, bet. On their anniversary, Marcus said, I heard it was good this morning. I had a situation, so I didn't make it. I'll be at the dinner tonight. And so Ralph says, good to hear and all good. We'll see you soon. Okay. Then he tells Drew on the 22nd, you have my debit card. Can you bring it in? So then on the 23rd, this is the video, I guess, of them. I don't know if this is celebrating or something. Oh, their baby was so little then. What is this supposed to show?
Same time.
The date of the video?
Yes.
Okay, so this is their anniversary. That's why they're playing that in the background. And then he also says that the Tampa issue was already resolved prior to. But see, that's the thing though, Ralph. And let me go back, baby. You feel like it was already resolved because y'all discussed it a few days prior. Does not necessarily mean the case. That does not necessarily mean that she felt that it was internally resolved for her. Just because you wanted to be past a subject matter does not mean that she is past it. And I feel like that was a lot of what we would see on the television with y'all. You may have felt like she was dragging the issue, but I feel like she felt like she wasn't being heard, just like you weren't being heard. Hell, even the therapist saw this in you guys sit down. Right? I don't know. You two obviously were both fighting to be heard, and y'all just had poor communication that y'all needed to work on. Okay? You wanted to be able to tell her whatever, as you're saying here, and she's supposed to just be okay with it and move forward. And she may have had some other answers that she was seeking from you, and you likely weren't willing to give that. And let you tell it was because she would interject or overtalk you or cut you off. Now, I do believe that when you're having conversations with your partner, you need to let the other person talk. At some point, y'all both did. But I feel like also that's something that you guys did to each other. You know? So, yeah, somebody asked him in the comments, so did you resolve it or was it made up? Yesterday, you tweeted it was made up. Ooh, clock that T. Get that. And he says the storyline was fabricated. No, the storyline, what part of the storyline was fabricated, love? Are you trying to say it was fabricated based on her reaction of how she felt about you leaving? Because Tampa happened. And what Drew also said was while you were away, you were watching them on the cameras. I believe it. So, and she didn't know where you went and didn't know why you went. Okay. And now it appears that you told her after the fact. So I'm a little confused. Now you're saying that it's fabricated, but you did say that it was made up, you know, or you said that it was resolved and then it was fabricated. So which one was it? Now he's saying that it was just fabricated. But then now you're saying it's resolved too. And that doesn't mean it may have been resolved to you because you felt like you got out what all you needed to get out. But if she didn't get to express herself to you further about how she felt about your actions and how it made her feel or whatever the case was and getting a better understanding, then I don't think that's necessarily resolved. And I feel like that happens a lot of times in relationships where people don't properly communicate. One person wants to be able to tell you whatever and move on about their business, and that's not how that should go. And then y'all fall back into the cycle of just doing life all over again and just acting like the situation never happened, but then y'all every month or every other month keep bumping heads over some stuff. So he thought it was resolved, but it wasn't. Let's keep going because there is another post where he made and he says this, okay? He says the love and support was real. He says, I wasn't just a husband. I was her partner, investor, music producer, and strategist behind the scenes. He says, I poured in Drew's career before and during Real Housewives of Atlanta, helping shape key moments like the autograph with LaToya and the infamous dog bone with Fatum. Our mission was clear: to turn Drew into a household name, build businesses, and create a lasting legacy for our kids. I told Drew several times over the years to show up authentic and make reality TV match our reality. Unfortunately, here we are, but nonetheless, I wish her well. I just feel, has it been finalized the divorce, or are y'all coming up on the finalized date? And it just, like, he's really sad about, no longer being a part of Drew's journey, her career anymore. That's what it seems like. So let's get into these text messages. So she says, not feeling good about this trip. He said, what happened? She says, Kandi made a nickname for me, Drama with Drew. He says, like, you're always in drama or starting drama. And she says, always in drama. And then she says, I got her, baby. I said, sit, boo boo, sit. Told Sheree to get her puppy, watchdog, lap dog. Told her to pee in the bush, and she showed up drunk. I got her bone and treats in my purse, just waiting for the right moment to bring them out. And I mean, I would need to see more to know that you gave her that storyline for her to do. Sound like to me that she just telling you what her game plan is. But anywho, she says, OMG, okay, thanks. I have a long week and I have $500 to my name. He says, I got you as long as you got me. She says, oh, baby, thank you, husband. I got you forever. Call me when you can. Oh, he wanted her to continue to have him forever. Babe, I need money to book Dr. Ken's flight. What else they got? Not feeling okay. Yeah, so he's rerunning the same text messages there. And then he tells her this back in October. Your logic is just off and you're not thinking smart. My opinion. One, you say you have a family at home, but you create a storyline that you're going to stay to visit family during a hurricane. Stupidest SHI I've ever heard. LOL. This is a job, but you're acting scared to get on a 1-hour flight. Seems very childish to me and shows that you were truly affected or defeated. Guarantee you, Porsha cried, dried it up, and back living her best life. Everyone understands what this is a show about. He says, who shows Porsha's departure wasn't planned / scheduled. 3, opposed to a 1-hour flight, you're going to take a 9-hour drive. Okay, it's a game. This is not chess, not checkers. This is chess, not checkers. You have to think smarter. Also, you're starting to have too many people in your ear, and it's only going to get worse. You may be used to this from theatrical, but you're not used to the impact of reality TV. Lastly, I have to be very mindful of what I share with you. Never know when you will repeat it, use it against me, or show my messages to 30 million people. I also have to be smarter with you. Replace all smart with strategic. Not saying you're not smart. Chess is a game of strategic thinking, not mere intelligence. Okay, so this is what Ralph is saying, child. I feel like the people are tired at this point. Okay. What did he say? I told you several times over the years to show up authentic. Ralph, baby, we tired. We tired. I don't even know what you're supposed to be showing us right here. I guess you're supposed to be showing us how instrumental you were to her career. You were her husband. I expect all husbands to be supportive, instrumental in some fashion to that woman's career. Okay, that don't mean that you get to sit up there and say you want 60% of a company that was created before she even met you. Yeah, no. That's insane. But that's what Ralph got going on. You guys leave your thoughts and comments down below. He's gonna likely come to us with something he's on his Simon Guabadi, child. So he's probably gonna come to us every day with something until that divorce is officially finalized. And even when it's done finalized, he gonna continue to say something else. Drew, if I were you, honestly, I would have to file harassment charges on him just a bit. Okay. I would have to. And potentially some invasion of privacy of some fashion. Because I feel like he is trying to throw salt on your name. And because you're likely going to continue to be successful without him, I feel like he's trying to muddy your name in an effort to make it even more difficult for you to be successful without him. And I can't. I can't, girl. Like, you're going to have to do something about that. Didn't the judge tell y'all to only communicate in the app? Didn't the judge tell y'all that? So why is you over here on this app communicating some stuff that the people is not trying to hear? I can't. It's too much. It's too much. Those people that don't care for Drew are going to eat it up. And I'm going to let you guys chew on the bone that you have, okay? However, a lot of us could care less. And it's still giving Team Drew for me. What else is going on? Don't care nothing about it. Let's keep going. I want us to get into this sneak peek from Real Housewives of Atlanta. So let us go ahead and check this out.
Last night was a struggle. I feel like that was like what I was waiting for this whole trip. And that was kind of the first time I felt like a vacation. Where it was just like we were all laughing, having an amazing time, drinking, turning up. Yeah. Everybody was twerking.
I never even thought it was possible with this group because of all the friction and all the... And I didn't think I could get to a place to where I would want to hang out and party with the group. Like Shamia was going through last night. I know Brit was coming from a place of love and a place of support. And then I made the mistake of looking at your ass.
Wait. What'd I do?
I fucking love you. I love you. Even during this time, I'm going to have your back. I'm going to be there for you. I can't play with you in serious moments because your face, Drew.
Oh my God, I don't know what my face was doing. And they say, I'm the actress? Ha! Well, somebody else got me beat, baby, because what we saw last night,
I love you, Last night was a struggle.
I know
feel
that's
like
right,
that
Drew. I'm the
was like-
actress. But what would y'all call what happened last night, love?
Baby, because what we saw last night,
I love you, Shamia. I love you. You are somebody I can say I love.
a round of applause performance. I mean, it was like curtains are open and she took center stage. I mean, it was just like, like, are they about to turn kids? Like,
Yeah, not are they about to tongue kiss?
I couldn't take it. I was just like, girl, are you attacking Shamia?
I think what was interesting about our event is I didn't realize that her and Kelli wasn't that close.
The dinner, it felt like Brit was just by herself.
Oh.
And Kelli was just like, kind of like,
Calm down. I don't need you to tell me to calm down.
Very aggressive right now.
Well, you don't need to talk to me.
Like, something is different.
Kelli is the same girl who jumped on me when Brit and I had our words. So something ain't right. They're not speaking. They're not close. They're not laughing. My spidey senses,
you beat, baby, because what we
my spidey senses are jumping.
listen, clearly having it going on. And I feel like I'm just making some resolve.
Me too.
Right, so I'm like, listen, I'm going to just keep my eyes open. But I don't know, something not right in the water.
Child, something not right in the water. So now we're getting to the beginning part where I feel like Angela just might get back with Brit and Kelli the same way that she did with Shamia and Porsha by highlighting the dynamic of that friendship and those ladies not being as close as they once were. I do feel like this is going to be Angela's moment to get the thing started, child. And I am so here for it. And I just hate that Miss Edie was not here for the reunion. But ma'am, you're not going to be able to escape the people being on your tail when it comes to social media, because they are definitely going to be atting you and calling you out and saying all this and that. But we shall see. Okay, because you never know. I might end up being on Miss Edie's side with just a little piece of this. Okay, because I was with Britannica when it came down to the Shamia situation. I felt like she was wrong, but I understood where she was coming from based on things that Shamia said. So, I mean, I kind of understood her a little bit. Okay, but we shall see. We shall see. But at this time, guys, that is all that I have when it comes to Real Housewives. I want you guys to hop down in the comments. I want you to let me know your thoughts about everything. You know, just hop down in the comments and let me know what's going on in your mind with everything that we just discussed today. Of course, you know, I am JamiThatsMe, and you can find me on social media at JamiThatsMe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, tell them I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can fill a pool, we gon' make them swim.